From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Good evening and welcome to Open Line. We are cruising right into this new year, and it is time to talk about New Year's resolutions and getting on top of your health, your nutrition, your fitness. Yes, we are talking about it all tonight. I have Diane Dameron here with me tonight. Diane, thank you for being here once again.
Always glad to be here.
Yeah, you know, you're always full of wonderful information, whether it comes to what we should be doing in the gym or what we can do at home to improve our fitness. Right. Also, what we can be doing in the kitchen to make our lives and our bodies better. So we're going to dive into all of that tonight. Your phone calls are always welcome, whether you want some fitness tips or maybe some recipe tips. Maybe you have a favorite recipe that you know is killer on the fat or the sugar or the carbs or whatever. Diane's great about coming up with ways to switch things out to make it a whole lot healthier. And we are also going to be talking about some great food recipes that you could set out for your Super Bowl party. So stay with us for that. And again, if you have a question, 615-737+ is the number to call. But Diane, of course, everyone's thinking at the start of the year, it's a new year, it's a chance for a new me. What's my resolution going to be? I'm going to jump into it all and I'm going to do it right now.
That's right. Whew. Everybody makes these New Year's resolutions where, you know, they're going to go all in, and it's usually either all in or all out, and that's kind of the thing. We were talking before the show about New Year's resolutions, and I'm not a big believer in New Year's resolutions. I feel like, you know, if you want to make a change and it's March, make a change in March, you know, and I also believe in setting, you know, we were kind of talking about goals too. Goals, I think, are very important. You want to take baby steps, make changes, you know, whatever it happens to be. You don't have to make a resolution to say, you know, I'm going to go to the gym every single day and you haven't been to the gym in the last year. You know, it's probably not going to happen. And, you know, you also don't want to say, I'm going to cut out carbs or I'm going to cut out chocolate, because at the end of the day, you're going to sit in a tub of it, you know, as soon as you cut something out. So I just think, you know, making weekly changes, you know, and again, if let's say on January 1 you decided I'm going to lose 50 pounds and it's, you know, halfway through the month and maybe you've gained a pound. It's okay. Let's start now. You know, every new year, it's a new year, but it's also a new day, it's a new morning, it's a new meal, whatever it happens to be. Just make the change now. You know, we're all going to have ups and downs, and so take the downs and just get right back up.
It really is one step at a time. And I remember when a friend challenged me to run a half marathon, and I thought, I am not a runner. I am not a runner. I was asthmatic for most of my childhood. I hate to run, but I thought, for some reason, I was like, I would really like to say I've done that.
Right.
So, of course, I didn't start with 13 miles, but I literally started with running 2 minutes on the treadmill. And then walking. Like for 10. And then I'd run 2 more minutes. And then I'd walk for 10. And eventually, I got to 13 miles, and it blew my mind.
And I was the same way. I know the struggle of what it's like. I think one reason why, you know, I kind of can relate to people is because I know what it's like to be overweight. I've struggled with that. And, you know, as a teenager, I struggled with you know, my confidence and kind of, you know, going up and down. There's some pictures of me from high school, and I was just, you know, I would try maybe to, you know, a diet, or I would try something extreme and it would never work. And when I went to college, I finally decided to make a lifestyle change.
Which is crazy, because most people go to college and they gain the freshman 15, but you're saying you made changes and you lost weight.
I was a freshman 50, but I went the opposite way.
Wow. So how did you do it? What was the turning point?
Just like you said, it was one step at a time. I remember the guy that I was dating at the time wanted to always go to the gym, and he would lift weights and work out, and we would kind of do it. And it became a social thing, and it was a rec center, and I would just go upstairs, and there was a track around there, and I just said, okay, the track is, you know, maybe it's a 1/16 of a mile. And I remember being in tears because I could barely go around the track one time, you know, to jog even that one time, but I didn't give up, and I would go back, and it got to the point even around our university campus outside, like if you ran one lap around, like our part of our campus was a half mile, and I remember getting so, you know, that was my goal, was that I could run the entire thing, and it got to the point, by the time I graduated, I could run several times around campus. And that's the thing, just don't ever give up. And you know, I also made big changes about the way that I ate. I researched a lot, I added a lot of protein. I lived in a little studio condo. I didn't even have an oven, but I made choices about, you know, how to make things either in the microwave, or I ate a lot of like nuts and yogurt and things like that that I could have in the refrigerator. And just always planning ahead. I would even, the last couple of years, I remember scheduling, both my classes and everything so that I could work out, and I was part of sorority, and I just, scheduled it out and I planned it.
I find that really works for me, and actually a gal at the park was asking me the other day, she's like, well, how do you do it with 2 little ones? And you know what? We schedule so many other things. If you don't put it on your calendar or don't work it into your day and keep consistent about it, it is easy to pass by.
Yes.
So you got to know when you're going to do it.
Yes. And planning ahead for anything, and everything. And it was even, I wrote things down forever. Even when I knew in my head what I was going to eat or what I was going to have, but I would still write it down. And I would have, okay, my breakfast, my lunches, my dinners. Here's what I'm going to have, and I would kind of plan it as well as I have an engineering degree, so that was kind of my everything needed like its own column and space, and but that helps, and I think that is super important for everybody. When it comes to our kids, we wouldn't miss a kid's game, or when it comes to our boss, we're always there for our boss, and it's the same way for us. And I've said this many times, but if you have time to check Facebook, you have time to work out, and if you have time to watch whatever show you have time to meal plan.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be elaborate. Meal planning, like I said, it can be just, I think it's very important. Also, part of sometimes in New Year's resolutions, we make resolutions to save money. And if you plan your meals when you grocery shop and you have a list and you know exactly what you're going to have, less food waste. You don't end up, you're not going out as much, so you're saving a lot of money on that.
Not, I don't have anything at home. We'll just run through the drive-through on the way home. Yes.
And you can, when you meal plan, you can have dinners and then maybe use certain leftovers for your lunches the next day, and all that, and it's super good for your body as well as your wallet.
Sure.
So I think that's super important.
And it's a lot better to go to the grocery store with a list.
Yes, absolutely.
So much better.
And I still, to this day, I don't necessarily write down my plan all the time, although I have it in my head, but I never go to the grocery store without a list. It's
too many things want to jump in your cart.
Absolutely.
And then you'll forget the stuff that you really did need, of course.
And I always try to go, I don't go to the grocery store hungry either. So have a healthy snack before you go, and then go to the grocery.
Words of wisdom. Okay, I promised we would get to your calls. We're going to take one at least before we go to our first break. I have LD on the line. LD, thank you for calling in. What's your question?
Yes, my question is about Super Bowls and like fruit, grain, hearty bowl meals. If you can talk briefly about the way that we eat healthier in bowls rather than having full course plates or anything that is flat. There's something about a bowl meal, a fruit bowl meal, a grain bowl meal, whether it's oatmeal, whether it be rice, kind of brownish rice with paprika or whatever in that. Those bowl meals, if you could possibly explain how many, nutrients are inside bowl meals rather than plate meals. And also my second part is I did an HBO special on fitness with the HBO documentary that's be coming up in 2017. But it's about the time that we can spend on, getting air back or getting wind back with health. There's times when you can go down and do push-ups, 15, 20 push-ups a day, and become healthier with those times, just getting back to it without having to go to a extra workout plan or a health nutrition plan. It just takes a decision to say, I'm going to get my win.
That's right.
All right, LD, thanks for calling in. I'll put you on hold, so just listen to your TV. Let's talk about meals in a bowl, I guess, is what LD's talking about, and kind of shaking things up a little bit.
And kind of that is, the bowls is kind of a trendy topic right now. Like if you look on Instagram, everybody's got like the the bowls of whatever with certain grains. I eat a bowl of oatmeal every single morning, and I love it. And I do think grains are very important, and there's something very comforting about like a warm bowl of something. I think they're great, whether you go sweet or savory. You can add things to them. Usually, you just want to go whole grain with whatever it is. And now there's ancient grains, and you can go and I love wheat berries. You can kind of have it almost as a pasta instead of brown rice, but you want to, or amaranth, and then there's barley and all kinds of things that you can have, and a lot of those you typically would go savory, where you could maybe add like some pasta sauce, like a red sauce, or you could add one thing that I do is like go and get a frozen bag of like Asian veggies, like stir-fry veggies, and you could just add those to like a bowl of whatever whole grain that you have.
It really pumps up a recipe.
Exactly, exactly. And then what he was talking about, I am really big into any kind of spices, and it doesn't have to be like hot spice, but you know, like if you're going Mexican, you'd have cumin and you know, maybe smoked paprika or things like that. Or if you wanted to go Asian, you know, you could add maybe some sesame seeds and a little bit of ginger, or you know, anything like that, where you're adding lots of flavor without adding a lot of fat or calories.
Sure, you're not throwing on the sour cream and the cheese.
And then the same way in the winter times, maybe not so much, but you know, fresh herbs, you're adding basil and things like that. And then even something that I love to do that I think brightens everything up is adding citrus zest and juice.
Oh, yeah.
And that's citrus, like when you think about lemon, if you put a little bit of lemon juice or even lime juice, it acts almost as a salt. So if you put a little bit on there, it just brightens up the flavor of whatever you're having. So try like roasted broccoli with maybe some brown rice and put a little bit of lemon zest on there, and it's amazing how that just brightens that up.
Sounds pretty yummy. Okay, on that note, now that we have your mouth watering, we're going to take a quick break. We have Jay on the phone and Charlie on the phone. We're going to get to your calls right after this and talk more about how to be healthy and fit in the new year. Stay with us.